Hello, I'm Kimberly Henry, and this is Living the Good Life. In this series, we'll feature conversations around ways to embrace the goodness of life and take a big, juicy bite out of it. Food for the soul and the funny bone. Learn to give more time to yourself, become a better friend, lead an amazing life, and how to tell the best joke at the party. Living the good life can mean different things to different people. Whatever it is for you, I hope you'll find some inspiration here to live your most joyful, authentic life. Now, on to today's conversation. I am here today with my friend Patrick Smith, who is a full-time RVer and living the dream, right? It's all sunshine and roses, I'm sure. And has figured out through bumps and bruises and a lot of good times how to make an RV lifestyle work while creating a new business. Welcome, Patrick.
Hi, how you doing, Kimberly?
Fantastic.
Good.
Fantastic. And I'm super glad to be talking to you. We know each other. We've known each other for a couple of years now, and you do lots of cool AI things. We'll get to talk about that later on. But I want to hear, where are you right now in the world?
Physically, I'm about an hour outside of Portland, Oregon, right near the base of Mount Hood. So
Mm,
at about 1,500 elevation, um,
nice.
kind of in the woods. I'm in a place called Mount Hood Village, which I really like.
Mm,
Um, and so I've been coming here off and on for about 8 years. But yeah,
okay.
that's where I'm at today.
And this time last year, where were you? Do you remember?
This time last year, I think I was just leaving. Where are we at? March? I think I was just leaving.
Right.
I think I was just leaving
Yeah.
Tucson. I think I was somewhere
Yeah.
around Tucson, Arizona, and I was
Nice.
bouncing through Arizona and Pahrump, Nevada, actually, because there was
Oh,
a
yeah.
park that I wanted to go over there. I had a friend who lived there, so escapees had a park there that I could stay at for $25 a night, which was really a killer deal. So yeah, I think I was in Pahrump.
Yeah. You've covered a lot of ground in the last year or so. You were all the way down in Florida,
Yep,
Arizona,
yep, yep,
and
yep. I
Pahrump.
probably in the last year have been in about 8 or 9 states, but I'm about the journey. I'd like to spend a lot of time, and I don't spend a lot of time driving. A lot of people um, want to hammer down to get somewhere, and they'll drive 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, and that's just not me. My
Mm,
For me, I like to travel. The reason that I do this is I want to be able to go down the road and go, "Hey, what's that?" and then pull over and go
mhm.
see what it is, or stop somewhere and I like to take at least 2 weeks wherever I park my rig, so I can
Yeah.
park it, hang out for a couple of weeks, go look around, find out what life's like in that area, find the cool things, you know, and then just chat with fun people, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the life that we're all striving for when we decide to do this RVing thing, right? We want to get out, see the world, meet some fun people. Doesn't always pan out that way. It just really depends on a lot of factors, I think. But I know that just in following you, that you've done some life fulfilling, like bucket list items, right? Like,
Yep.
if I'm
Yep.
not mistaken, you were swimming with dolphins or something like that?
Yeah. Well, manatees. Yeah, I
Manatees.
have
Oh,
swum
that's
with
even
dolphins.
better.
Yeah, manatees. But I've done stingrays and all kinds of stuff. Kind of shortcut version is before I was RVing the United States, um, I had been blessed enough to be able to run my companies and fly around in lots of places around the world. I've dove the Great Barrier Reef. I've been in New Zealand. I've done Hawaii so many times I can't count. I've got to go see
Mm,
castles in Europe and be on the Rhine and see some fun stuff. Got to go to the country, go to a spa in Belgium, things
oh,
like
wow.
that. You know,
Oh,
but
fun.
I in the US, um, I was primarily a West Coast guy. I lived in California. I grew up
Mm,
in California, and I knew a lot. I'd like to travel, like to do weekend, and I would always go like take off for Friday night, come back Sunday night, kind of things, and just a lot of times no clue where I was going to go. I would just get in my truck or my
mm-hmm.
RV or whatever I happened to own at the time, and I've been doing that since I was 20 years old. I just like go and see, just
Just go.
drive and see where I ended up and find new
Mm-hmm.
places, and explore.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that freedom to just kind of go, hey, what's around that corner, and then just stop wherever I feel like stopping and hang, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The US itself, and I want to get us back to the beginning of your story here in a minute, but the US itself is such a diverse country that I think we sometimes forget. I know that it was really eye-opening for me when I first went to the east side of the country because I had grown up traveling all over the West. The east part of the country is so drastically different um as far as what it looks like. You know, there's not as much rural area. It's not as prevalent as it is in the West. There's more trees, it's greener. There's it's just different. And then there's different cultures and different foods and so different everywhere you go. Is there been an experience in the US that caught you off guard that kind of surprised you?
I think actually a little opposite of what you said, in that one of the things that I found was there are things right outside of our back door that we don't know about.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, and we don't see them because we're too close to where we're at. Like right outside of, LA, San Diego area, kind of down in there, which is, I traffic jam, too many people for me. But
Mhm.
within 45 minutes of there, all of a sudden you can be out in these gorgeous mesa mountains along the base of California and top of
Mm.
Mexico. I didn't even know existed. Right. I mean, I literally was driving down some roads and I'm like, wow, I like half an hour ago I was in San Diego and now I'm over here in this amazingly nature area. I actually
Mm.
saw this beautiful white wolf sitting on the side of the road, and I'm like,
Wow.
well, that's cool. And then I come to a four-way stop where there's like a taco joint and a gas station and a subway, and that's it. And
Mhm.
and we went over to the taco joint, and as a mom and pop taqueria, got the best burrito I've had in ages. It was like, you know,
Those are fun little stops. I love that. I love that. Yeah,
stuff.
when we think of California, we think of the beaches and the sunshine, and we forget about the mountains and mountains, desert, ocean,
Yeah,
everything.
well,
Yeah.
even Colorado, when I was there, I was coming up through Texas, all the way through Texas and bouncing around, crossed into the base of southern Colorado and Salida, which is down there at the bottom of Colorado. Happened to show up there on the 4th of July.
Mhm.
They were doing a 4th of July festival that was old town,
Mhm.
the whole town was in the city park, kids doing a parade together, just so sweet and so neat. And this
Mhm.
neat little area, and then 2 hours later, I'm in Denver, which
Yeah.
is traffic jam city and all these people, right? And Salida, gorgeous fly fishing and hiking and creeks and rivers and stuff, right? And quaint little stores and quaint little restaurants and things. I go into Denver and I'm talking to a kid in the gas station. I don't know. I can't remember where I was at, a gas station, a grocery store or something. And he asked me what I did. And I told him, hey, yeah, I just came from Salida. He goes, where's that? I go, dude, it's like an hour and 45 minutes from here. It's like right there down the road, right next to you. He goes, he goes, I've never been there. I said, how long have you lived here? He goes, oh, like 25 years. I'm like, dude, it's an hour and a half away.
Get out of your house.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
think
know,
yeah. I would love to inspire people to just get out and see more of the things that are even within driving distance,
yeah.
within
I
close
see,
driving distance.
and you see random stuff. I mean, I pulled over for a quick. I was trying to shoot over to Florida from Texas, I was down in southern corner of Texas, on the Gulf side, and southeast Texas, and worked my way around the Gulf, and I was headed over to Florida, and I stopped in Louisiana in an RV park that was just a random one I found online on one of the cool RV sites. Amazing place. I mean, they had this freaking heritage oak that was probably, I swear it must have been 100 feet across. Beautiful freaking, and it was all covered in that Spanish moss. So it just dripped off of this tree. It was actually, they had a heritage registration on this tree in the middle of this funky little RV park. It was, I mean, it couldn't have been more than 25 spots. The little tiny RV spot park. And I'm walking through there, and a guy looks up to me, and he's got a raccoon on a leash. And, okay, I'm walking my little dog. You've seen my dog Canuck. She was probably 4 months old at the time. So she was maybe 15 pounds. She's 30 now, but
Oh, wow.
I'm looking at him and I'm looking at my dog, and this raccoon's bigger than my dog, and he's
Oh,
walking it
wow.
like a dog. And I had to go ask him, it's like, dude, what's up with the raccoon on the leash? Tell me about it. Tell me your story. Right.
Yeah.
And it turned out he ran a raccoon rescue and he did all of this stuff. And there's this whole backstory I got to learn from this total stranger
Yeah.
in a random park that was so fun to learn.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think the joy of the RV lifestyle is if we open ourselves up to being open to all of the people we meet and not trying to judge them and just enjoy them and find out who they are a little bit and just say hi.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right. Like when I ended up in Florida swimming with the manatees, it was an accident because I
Really?
was going to one RV park. And when I got there, the place was tiny, tiny little roads. And I have almost a 40-foot long trailer hooked to my truck, which is 22 feet long. And, when with my bike rack on the back of my trailer and everything, that's 40. So I'm at like 62 feet long. And they want me to back into the spot where the road is only 8 feet wide. And there's trees on both sides. I said, dude, I cannot fit in there. And I drove semis for years. I used to drive triples and doubles, and I was a safety and training supervisor. So I know how to back up. Okay. And I went, dude, it ain't happening. I can't even cross my truck across this road. It won't fit, you know. And they
Mhm.
said, well, that's the only spot we got for you. And I went, oh, well, they go work. So they called up a friend and another park, and that lady had a pull-through site, which for those who don't know means you can just drive your rig right through it. You don't have to back in. And they had an opening, so they gave me an opening. I drove an hour and a half to go to that place, and you kind of let it go. You don't like get all upset about that stuff. You kind of go, okay, well, what's the next adventure? And so I
Mhm.
got to that park, and the lady says, well, are you here to see the manatees? And I said, what the heck is a manatee? I'd never even heard of it. Didn't even know what it was.
Really?
And I
Oh,
was,
wow. Oh,
you know?
wow.
And so she goes, oh, well, you're in the middle of a manatee rescue area, and there's this whole thing where it's all I'm not thinking of the right words, but everything's fenced off. It's all safe. You can't touch them. But this is just this
Mhm.
whole environment where they had thousands of manatees that come into this place because that's their preserve, and manatee preserve. That's the word I was looking for.
Mm.
Manatee preserve. I went, cool. Let's go see what that is. So,
Oh, fantastic. I love that you did that. I love that you did
you know,
I will never forget the first time I saw manatee. It was so, like,
yeah.
majestic and incredible.
Well, and I
Yeah.
got so blessed as always
Yeah.
because I was swimming with them and they're giant sea cows and they're on the bottom and they were munching away on the grass. But I went over
Mhm.
to where they have this buoyed off area where you can't go into that protects them. And the guy that was showing me around took me up by the buoys and we were floating there. It's about probably 10 or 15 feet deep, maybe not too deep, but higher, a little deeper than where they were at before. And all of a sudden, a mother and a calf came out from underneath the preserve area under the buoys. And the rule was you can't touch them, so you got to keep your hands away. And so I'm floating there with my hands on my back, just snorkeling, watching them. And the baby, which is probably 2,000 pounds, about 12 feet long, it was a baby, right?
Mm.
Swims up and literally kissed the mask of my dive mask. Literally
Oh, wow.
sticks his nose right on top of my mask. I'm just like laughing at myself, going, "This is so cool."
You can't touch them, but they can touch you, eh?
And then it sat there and it swam up underneath me. It spun in circles around me. It played with me for almost 10 minutes.
Oh,
And the guy
wow.
that was with me goes, "I've been doing this for years. I've never seen a manatee do that." He goes, "You do not
Oh,
know how lucky you are." You
I
know?
love it.
Yeah.
Such
So
great
you get to
times,
do
great stories.
those are
Yeah.
the things that for me are the reason that I was on the road because you can't,
Yeah.
those are the memories that I wanted to do when I got on the road was
Mhm.
before I was too old to be able to swim, before I
Mhm.
was too, my knees were so bad I couldn't hike to go see Mount Rushmore, right?
Mhm.
I wanted to go check it out my bucket list. I wanted to go see some of this stuff. I wanted to go places. I wanted to hike the Red Rock Canyon in Colorado. I wanted to go, see some of this kind of stuff and be able to
Mhm.
walk around and see it and enjoy it and not just fly over the top of it, you know?
Mhm. Oh, I love that you're
And
doing that. Now let's kind of roll it back a little bit and find out how you began this journey. Why RVing? Why not jump in a plane and check the things off your bucket list?
well, I started my first company in 1988, and I grew that real estate company from my twin brother and I, and then my daughter quickly became working with us when she was 17. And we grew that to offices in multiple states. And I was, at one point, my job was to fly around the United States and analyze all different kinds of investments all over the United States. So
Mhm.
I would go all of these cities and places and meet people, but I was constantly working. I never got to actually learn anything about the cities that I was
Mm.
in from a standpoint of enjoying it. I could tell you how
Mhm.
much the house is sold for. I could tell you where to make money, and I could tell you all that fun stuff, right? But I didn't get to
Mhm.
go swim with any manatees while I was doing it, right?
Mhm.
Now, when I took a vacation and I flew to Europe or something, then yeah, but in the United States, I was typically working everywhere that I went when I was doing
Mhm.
stuff, other than maybe a weekend trip away from home, right around near my house. Um, and then I got in an automobile accident in 2013, which broke my foot. I couldn't drive, so you can't do real estate if you locally. If you can't drive, you can't really go see people, work on a house, or do any of that. So I started doing everything online, and that was right when Google started doing the online reviews. And so I moved. That morphed me into the idea of helping people because my attorney, I was suing the people for the auto accident. My attorney saw the work that I did and said, "Can you do that for me?" And I said, "I guess." Never thought about doing it for anybody else. So
Mhm.
I started a company. Eventually, it became a company, but I started helping other people do what grew my business. Just
Mhm.
I wrote my first book on it in the 90s and did some other stuff. But so that allowed me the freedom to not be locally locked, like in my real
Right.
estate business at a location. Okay. So it helped me get the idea in my head that, wow, maybe there's a way for me to make money without being stuck into one place. Right.
Right.
Can I do that? Can I manage this somehow? And I started managing my real estate company remotely and having staff that did things for me and those kind of stuff. But then eventually I morphed out of that, went into helping businesses grow their businesses. And then when I turned 64, I was like, okay, I really, I had bought my first road trek, which was, if those don't know, is a Class B, which means it's kind of like a passenger van, a 9-person passenger van that's completely decked out. I mean, Road Trek makes one of the
Yeah.
coolest freaking Class Bs, but um, I am a cheapskate, so I was looking for a used one. And
It's
a
a
used
smart
Road
way to
Trek
do
is
it.
our used Road Trek is really hard to find because a new one's going to
Mhm.
run you about 125,000 to start with, you know,
Mhm.
and I was not going to blow 125,000 on a weekend vehicle. And I finally found one, fixed it up myself, and I kept it for 5 years. I used it for weekend trips and week-long trips and that kind of stuff. And it was great. I was getting the feel for getting to go back out to what I like to do, check out country, meet new places. and it was a cool environment. And then when I decided to go full time or to go on the road and take my business on the road, it was just me and an 80-pound dog. Well, I wasn't really thinking it through at the time. So I'm,
You just hit start and off you went,
all
right?
I thought of was, you know what? I'm just going to, if I think about this too long, I'm never going to do it. I'm just going to go do it. Right. So I
Uh-huh.
got a storage shed. I moved everything I didn't want to sell or give away or do something with. I did Goodwill. I did garage sales. I did all of that. Got rid of everything I could get my hands on, kept all of the personal stuff and things like my tool chests and things, and stuffed all of those into a storage shed and jumped in the road trek with the dog. And this was way before Starlink, way before there was any of the tools we have today.
Yeah.
And so I joined Anytime Fitness because what I found out was Anytime Fitness had locations like freaking everywhere, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and they weren't the hard sell thing, right? So for like, I don't know, $20 a month or something, I could stop in almost any city I wanted to and go have a shower, work out for a while, do that kind of stuff for like $20. And they were open 24/7. So all I had to do was show up and punch in a code, and the parking lot could be empty and I'm inside doing what I wanted to do. So I went, well, that's cool. I'll do that for a while.
Yeah.
And because taking a shower on a road trip is really hard to do. It's possible, but it's hard to do. And then I was working in the trailer with the dog, and about 6 months of that, and I went, this is just too much. It's just, there wasn't enough space. So
Right.
I said, well, let's try something different. And I bought uh, my attitude with this kind of stuff is go cheap and try it first.
Yeah.
Okay. Do
Yeah.
not go out and pay $100,000 on a freaking RV and then find out you're scared to drive it. You can't resell it for what you paid for it. Because I
Right.
know people have done that. I know people have bought RVs, drove them off the lot, got to their first destination, parked it, and sold it. Okay. Because they were too
Mm-hmm.
scared to drive it, you know? So I said, let's just try it out. Now, I did do a Cruise America and went through Yellowstone on a Cruise America Class C, which is like a big box van kind of.
Yeah.
But I did that for 2 weeks just to try it, to see how I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of, okay, what kind of things do I need to have with me? But then when I got the road truck, I drove around for a while and I said, okay, that's not working. I bought a cheap gas rig, gas pickup truck, and a cheap trailer, which was so cheap that when I bought it, I knew nothing. I knew zero. Okay. I did not know to get it inspected. Should have done that.
Oh, ouchie.
Should have got
So,
something that had a moisture meter to check the moisture in the walls. Should have done that.
mm-hmm.
Because I asked the guy, I said, so how's the roof? No problem, man. Never had a problem with that roof in my life. I work on it every year. I redo it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. I know absolutely nothing. The very first weekend I had it, it poured down and rained, and water was pouring through the skylight like a freaking river. Luckily, it was
Oh,
over
you're
the tub.
kidding.
It was literally pouring water through my roof into the tub, and I'm like, no leaks, huh? Oops. Didn't do a good enough job of checking that out. So I ended up learning how to tear the roof off of an RV and rebuild one and put in a new skylight. And I found mold
Wow.
growing in there that looked like something from a monster movie. And
Mm-hmm.
but I fixed it up myself. My twin brother and I actually worked on it together. And I redid the roof and fixed it up. And I drove that one for, I don't know, a year or so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I, I one of the things that I suggest to people that are doing this for a lifestyle, start out, rent something. Get something like Cruise America, get somewhere, but rent somebody's personal rig if you can, or if not, buy a new, and then go try it. And then while you're
Mm-hmm.
out there, go talk to the people in the park. Okay. Not the sales guys. Okay. Go out there, walk around the park with your dog and stop the guy next to you and go, hey, dude, what do you like about that pickup truck? Or what do you like about that trailer? Or why did you buy that instead of this? and just start
Mm-hmm.
doing your own little surveys. And that's what I did. I said, why are you pulling that with a Ford instead of a Ram? And why do you have the F-250 versus the F-350? And, you know, those kind of questions, what do you think of Jayco versus Keystone versus, the other manufacturers? Have you had a lot of problems? So I started doing my own surveys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought another trailer, and that worked out fairly well. But then I was like, it had a bunkhouse and I didn't need a bunkhouse. So I had all of this space that I couldn't use. It was basically a giant storage area. And I'm like, I don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, I'd been on the road for a couple of years, and I realized I hadn't been back to my storage trailer in the Sacramento, California area for about a year and a half. And I was still paying for it. I'm like,
Mm.
why? Why am I doing that? There's nothing in there that I can't rebuy other than mementos.
Right.
So I called my family and my kids and everybody else, said, get everything that you want when I die. You can have all of that stuff you want, because whatever's left over, I'm selling.
Mm-hmm.
And I put an ad in the paper, and I said, you can have everything inside this storage shed for one price, but you don't get to nitpick. You come in, you
Oh.
haul it all away, you sweep the floor up, so when you walk away, I can go get my key deposit back. And I'm going to give you a killer deal. And I had a guy pay me several $1,000s to come in and clean out my storage shed for me.
Really?
And he was freaking crazy happy. I was crazy happy because I didn't have to sort through all that stuff. I didn't have to pick it up. I didn't have to haul it anywhere. I didn't have to sit there and meet 25 different people. I just said, pay me one price. You get everything and make it all go away. I'd already taken out the personal stuff that I wanted, and if make it all go away, somebody. You're going to make a profit. Good for you. Happy days. You go make a profit. I'm going to be happy because I don't have to touch it.
That is the first time I've heard that strategy. I'm sure others have done it, but I've not heard
It works
of it
amazingly well.
that way.
And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, the weight that it lifted off of me,
Yeah.
because all of a sudden I went from a 2,400 square foot house
Uh-huh.
with stuff and
Right.
every freaking tool you could name, and multiple vehicles, and the attic in the house. I even put storage in the attic. I went up there and built more storage because 2,400 square feet wasn't enough, and a 3-car garage wasn't enough. And obviously, I needed more places to stuff. I went
Mm-hmm.
from all that down to I took my pickup truck and I got a covered shell on my truck. And it's the reason I had a bumper pull instead of a fifth wheel was I took the shell on my pickup truck is a high-rise shell, so it goes really high. And I
Mm-hmm.
made 3 different shelves in there. They were all exactly the height of the Home Depot storage box.
Oh,
And
brilliant.
so I measured the boxes. I figured out how high to make everything. The very top rack was narrow. It was only about 12, 18 inches tall. That's where my ladders and everything went. My really long stuff went on the very top one. And then the other shelves were all Home Depot size, so I could stack them in there. And then I took everything that I wanted to keep, put it out into a driveway, sorted it all out, put it into storage boxes, and took photographs of it. And then I put it in Evernote, so that if I was looking, and I put numbers on the boxes, so that if I'm looking for the red bottle jack that I needed for this tool, I could punch it into my phone and go, where's the red bottle jack? It says, oh, it's in box number 6. And the boxes were labeled, and I had a little map on the inside of my truck with where every box was at. And I'd slide the box out, pull my bottle jack out, slide it back in. So
Wow. That's above and beyond organization.
I didn't start that way. I started out having it all in there going, where the
Where's
heck did I put
everything?
that red bottle jack? And I finally
Right.
got 15 boxes and laying them all out going, oh, it's that one over there.
So if you want to learn to get organized, get an RV.
I got organized, and I got minimalistic. I started
Yeah.
selling stuff. I would go into RV parks, and if I hadn't used it in 6 months, I would just give it away, give it to storage, see if they're doing they do these like parking lots things, like a garage sale in some of the
Mm-hmm.
RV parks. They
Mm-hmm.
do these lot sales. So I would throw stuff up there and sell stuff and put them on the local neighborhood site. So now my goal is to make it as minimal stuff as I can do.
Yeah.
And the newest trailer I have now, I bought it only because it had a second bedroom in the back that was a full bedroom. It had a full queen size bed in the back and a queen size bed in the front. And I took the back bedroom and tore out the bed, tore out everything there, and built it into an office where I'm at right now with a stand-up desk with all my office stuff, all my recording equipment, lighting, everything that I need is in a full office. So I have
Mhm.
my living area, a full office, and a full bedroom, and a full kitchen, and all that stuff in one RV, in one trailer. And then I can drop the trailer and take the truck and take off and go around with my four-wheel drive and go do stuff if I want to, and go play.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So how do you fund all of this?
How do I
What's
fund it? Well,
you're not doing real estate anymore, right?
now I actually I still do some.
Oh, okay.
I'm still a licensed broker in the state of California, and I have my license at my brother's house, but I am a licensed broker, and I for the first couple of years, especially, I had people that would call me up and say, I've been working with these people for over 20 years. And they're like, look, I'm not selling my house with anybody but you.
Mm-hmm.
I was in, I think, Arizona or New Mexico or somewhere one day, and somebody called me up and said, dude, I got to sell my house. I go, well, I'm in New Mexico. I could be there in a couple of days. And they go, okay, cool. I just drove back to California, went to an RV park, got a space there for 4 months, helped the guy out. I sold his existing house, helped him buy another one. While I was there, I found another. I sold 3 or 4 houses while I was hanging around for a while. California, that's a
Wow.
decent income. And then when I was all done, I went, okay, see y'all later. Went back, hooked up to my trailer, and took off again.
Wow.
you
That's
know,
some flexibility right there.
my attitude is, hey, you need some help? Great. I'm not stuck being here. I can be wherever I feel like. I can work wherever I want.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
primarily, I work helping businesses online, and that's what I do 95% of the time. And that business, my main business, my business suite, is all about helping businesses be found online, helping them get organized, helping them. What I found out after that 2013 accident and working with businesses for a long time was most of them were really good at the job they did, like my electricians and my plumbers and my auto mechanics and those guys that I do work with. They're great auto mechanics. They are
Mm-hmm.
terrible at figuring out how to follow up on a phone call or how to keep track of
Right.
a past client, or
Mm-hmm.
they think going after a new lead is a smart idea when it's really better to talk to people who already know, like, and trust you and just stay in touch with them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I create the systems for them to be able to do stuff in a way that frees up their time so they can continue to do what they like to do, which is whatever thing probably got them into that business in the first place, or help them free up their time so then they can go sell that business eventually. I work with several people now where I'm helping them build their business up so much that they can sell it. And so I create the systems, the operations, and when the AIs like ChatGPT came on the street,
Mm-hmm.
mainstream, because AI has been around since 1957. For those people that think AI is new, it's not. But but
New to us.
the it ain't new. Look up Turing test. That was like in the late 50s, where they were trying to
Right.
figure out whether it was an AI or a human. It's been around for a long time.
Mm.
Um, so the AI that we call AI today,
Mm-hmm.
those tools, I started working with those in 2023, probably right around there. And now I use those tools to help people systemize stuff even faster and better and do more things and teach classes on it. So, my goal is to help. There are lots of ways to make money on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whether you're a traveling nurse, where you want to go somewhere and park and then work in a hospital or someplace for 6 months for that particular area, or whether you want to work at an RV park as a host, or whether you want to work the beet fields during, I think it's October, you can go do the beets. And I know people that do that. They go up and work where some of them are just
Is that
standing there directing trucks for 10
like
hours a day.
Michigan or Ohio or something
Yeah, I
like
think it's
that?
Michigan
Yeah.
or somewhere like that. I can't
Yeah.
remember where it's at, but I bet people that do
Mm-hmm.
that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I met a
Mm-hmm.
guy in Colorado that wanted to hire, that was talking to me about working in the forestry division of forest in the southern Colorado National Forest area to manage visitors coming into the park and things like that. And I
Mhm.
was trying to get the job from him. Hey, he actually had a job where you sit at a boat dock on a lake and check people's boats for invasive species and just spray them down with this chemical, this water thingy.
Yes. I've seen that.
And he goes, "You're really busy in the morning when all the guys get there together to go out boating, and you're busy when they all leave. And after that, you got nothing to do for hours, and it pays really well." And I'm like, "Wow, that's a cool job. How do I get that job?" you know, I know people who
Yeah.
were Christmas tree farms in the in the winter and in Christmas time, obviously, you know, and then people who write books, who teach, who, if there's anything that you know how to do, the odds are there's a way that you can do that
Yeah.
online.
Mhm.
And with the AI tools we have today, it makes it even easier for you to systemize some of that stuff. But because I believe my belief is AI is a tool, but it only works with a human touch. It has to be it's AI, but then you finish it off with a human. Human has to look at it, human has to touch it, human has to make sure it's good, human has to review it, you know. But
And in a lot of cases, human has to instigate the thread, whatever I don't know what you call it,
well, you
but
got to start out with a
the
prompt and the thing that
project.
you do. But what's really cool is the newest stuff that's come out in the last 2 months. It's only been 2 freaking months. Is so powerful that right now, while we're talking, I have an AI that is going out. It's researching all of the data on a certain business up that I might want. Okay, I can just make up a business and go out there, find everything about this business, give me all of the news feeds on information that happened in the last 3 days for that thing, research it and find out what the trending articles are, what the people out in the world are looking at, what's the real thing that they want to know about by volume, right? Then
Mhm.
pull all of that back in, create 5 blog posts for me on those trending articles, go into my database, research the articles I've already written, see if any of those articles match up with something that I already did, make sure that they aren't overlapping, then give me a draft version, put it over here and send me the email of the draft version so I can look at it all while I'm sleeping. Okay. So
Wow.
all I got to do is wake up and go, "Oh, there's a draft version that I can look at and go, do I want to keep that or change it or do something with it?" But it did
Mhm.
all of the grunt work for me. And it's actually on a schedule. It happens. I think I have like several of them working. Some of them start at like 5 in the morning for some businesses at different times. And they just automatically work. So
Mhm.
it's like, you know, you want your social media posts done. I've got blogs. I got things that'll do that for you automatically. Now
Wow.
you want to review them, but they'll go out and help you draw the drafts, help you draw the posts, help you make the images, do all of that stuff for you. And you look at them and go, approve, disapprove, change this, do that.
Mhm. How did you get into
I
the
can,
AI space? Because I know you were
I,
doing the marketing stuff when you
and it's just
transitioned.
marketing. It's all
Yeah.
marketing. Everything's marketing.
Everything's marketing.
I have something that kind of freaks people out, but I tell people all the time, look, you may hate salespeople, but you are one. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because because in the real world, we're all selling everybody us.
Mhm.
Okay, we're selling the new spouse that we want. we're selling.
You're
we're
selling that
going
spouse
on a
after you have them too.
we're going on a date. We're trying to figure out. We're trying to sell our good side, right? We're putting
Mhm.
ourselves out there. Or you just got your hair cut. You're telling your girlfriends all about the great stylist that I just met and what a great person. And your girlfriend's going, "Oh, your hair is so cute." You're going, "Oh, you see Susie. Susie's great." We
You're
do that all day long without thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. We do it when we're talking about our religion, our whatever it is that we're interested in. When we're talking to people, we are explaining to them why we think it's a good thing.
Mhm.
And what I learned a long time ago in sales was sales not a bad word, and people thinks it is. But what real sales is finding out what somebody needs and then helping them get it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's sales. It's like,
If you're
what do you need?
if
What
you're a
what's important
professional,
to
yes.
you? You know
Mhm.
what? What's important to you? What do you need? Do you need a new haircut? Great. Here's a place that you can go get one.
Mhm.
Right? Do you want to go swim with the manatees? Here's a place you can go swim with the manatees. Right?
Yes, please.
Wait,
Sign
but
me
it's all
up.
the same, right?
Yeah, I think sometimes where it gets muddy is when people don't necessarily know what they want or they're not forthcoming with what they want. And then it feels maybe a little more salesy when you're trying to ferret that out, right?
Well, the problem is bad salespeople
Mhm.
try to sell people stuff they don't need so that
Mhm.
the person selling it can make money.
Mhm.
To me, that's just being a thief. Okay.
Right.
I mean, you know, I don't like that. That
Right.
to me, that's not sales. Sales is helping people figure out what they want
Right.
and then helping them get it. That's the key. Because
Right.
sometimes we don't even know what we want.
Right.
We just know we need something, right?
Right.
So if that's true, and it's been my philosophy my whole sales journey, and it's why I grew my company as fast as I did, and it was all built on reputation and relationships, because that's what it's all about. That's how I grew the company to multiple states, was all on relationship marketing. And so relationship marketing is just that,
Mhm.
helping the people understand what they want, helping them define it, because sometimes they don't even know how to say it, talking to them, asking questions, listening, and then giving them the answer. And sometimes saying, you know what, I can't help you with this, but this person can, you know,
Mhm.
and I'm fine with all of that. There's a lot of times where
Mhm.
I've had people that I've just said, and there are people that came to me and wanted to do stuff in my real estate career. I can think of multiple instances where somebody came to me and said they want to blah, 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 blah. And I went, I can do that for you. And I will make a boatload of freaking money if I do that. But you
Mhm.
don't want to do that. That's a bad thing for you. That's a good
Mhm.
thing for me. And
Right.
I literally, I said this to one guy one day. I said, dude, I'm going to make a bunch of money if I go do that for you. But that's going to cause you so much problems in the long run. I said, I won't do it. I said, I'm just telling you right now, you should not do that. Do not do that. You
Yeah.
know, you know,
Yeah.
because that's what it's about,
Right.
right?
Well,
That's where we should
that's
be.
where your integrity comes in, right? Mm.
Right. But then,
Yeah.
and from there, the AI stuff came about because if those are the things that you're trying to do, is to help people decide, help them see what they need to do, help them find the right solutions, then all you're doing is using tools to systemize that process. Okay.
Mhm.
So if we all know, every single business owner I've ever met with will tell you, my best client is the referral from the client that I just had that loves and likes me. They'll all tell you that. Everybody
Mhm.
knows your best business is from referrals from people who know, like, you, and trust you. Great.
Mhm.
Are you staying in touch with the people who know, like, and trust you? No. Okay, maybe you might want to do that.
Oh, I
So
love it. I love it.
just
Yeah, and
saying, it works and it's important. Maybe you might want to try
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and
So
back in the day, that used to require phone calls, boots on the ground, postcards,
I'm
Christmas
telling you,
cards, all the things,
I
right?
when I started doing this, when I started relationship marketing, I would hire my kids and we would sit in the family room watching a TV show, stuffing envelopes to all of my clients. And my kids would be folding envelopes and licking like 250 envelopes on the floor and trying to make sure, because we didn't have computers that could take the name. And so we had to like look at the envelope, the writing on the text and see whose name it was, make sure that was on the envelope, match the two up, put them in there, lick it, put a stamp on it, And we were this little assembly line going on in the family room,
Yeah. Oh,
So
I remember those days.
I've been old school, man. I've done it the hard way.
Right. So, we're closing in on our time, but I wanna ask you, do you think you'll keep RVing and working on the road? Is that
I will
gonna
always, yeah, I will. I don't see any. I until I can't drive anymore, I don't see any reason
Mhm.
why I should stop. Okay.
Well,
Um,
mhm.
I'm I've been on the road about 6 years now, and I'm probably going to stay at the spot I'm in here as a permanent spot that I come back to because I haven't had that in 6 years. I've been moving every 2 to 3 weeks, which after about
Mm-hmm.
5.5, 6 years, that started to get a little old. So this spot, I actually am landscaping out and I'm putting in more permanent structures, but it's set up so that I can just hook up to my trailer and take off and go to another state for 2 or 3 months and then come back and park here. Right.
Right.
So more than likely next winter, I'll probably bail out of here and head to some of the warmer states for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to make it through one winter here just to see what it was like. And I happened to
Mm-hmm.
pick a really warm winter, so I didn't have to deal with any snow or any little tiny bit of snow, but not much. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, I love still seeing things. There's still places I haven't been yet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And until I can't drive anymore, until I can't walk anymore, I don't see any reason to stop. You know.
Nice. Nice. I love that um sense of adventure, right?
Yeah.
And just being open to new thoughts and ideas and being resilient when things don't go the way you expect them to.
One of the things I think we need to learn in this world and everywhere is to just take it a little bit easier on ourselves and others. And number one, get rid of all that stuff. Get rid of that 2,400 square foot pile of stuff that I lived in and all of the junk that I owned that I didn't really need. When it all
Mhm.
came down to it. Um, and for me, at my age, what I'm looking for is I had a brother who had cancer in the base of his skull when he was 27 years old. In those days, it was all chemotherapy and radiation and stuff. So they destroyed his spine. His bones collapsed when they were trying to help get the chemo taken care of. They put steel rods in his back, which then he got spinal meningitis from all of that. Um,
Mhm.
Guy was chronic pain in a wheelchair. Most of the people that I met were in his lifestyle were grumps. They were angry at the world. I mean, the guy was 27 years old. He'd only got married for like 3 years when this happened to him, right? He went on to help lead the disabilities acts that happened in the state of Washington where he lived. He was the greeter for his church for all of the people who came in the room. And one of the last times I saw him, I was up in Kirkland, Washington with him, and he was running his wheelchair down the street. And everywhere on the street, total strangers would be walking by, and he'd smile and wave at them and say hello and do stuff. We went into a little restaurant, and everybody in this little restaurant where we had breakfast knew him. And they're all talking to him, and they're all doing stuff. And I'm just watching this. I'm just kind of watching and kind of seeing what's up. This goes on for a couple of hours. We're going back towards his house, and we stop in this park. And I turned to him. I said, Mike, I got to ask you a question because it's been driving me crazy. Almost everybody I know that's in your position is a grump. Okay.
Mhm.
You're out here saying hello to all these people, doing all this stuff. Everybody's talking to you. Why do you do that? And he said something to me that stuck, and it kind of goes along with my lifestyle of being on the road. And what he said was, I'm blessed by God to get to wake up every single day. And because I may not have been able to do that, but I have one job that he gave me. And my job is to see how many people I can make smile today.
Mm. Mm-mm.
And I broke down in tears. I just sat there and started crying. And it still almost makes you cry. And it was probably 30 something years ago that happened.
Oh, wow.
Because when I realized, and I said this to him, I said, I want to be like you when I grow up. Because if I can keep that mindset, if we
Mhm.
can all keep that mindset while we're out on the road and we're doing these things and we're meeting people and we're doing stuff, so that I can meet people walking a freaking raccoon down the street in Louisiana, right? And I could just go say hi to them and smile with them and start talking to them. If I can
Yeah.
see people in Salida in a park and just enjoy them enjoying themselves, right?
Yeah.
Then that's what our whole world should be like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can I spread that around a little bit as I get to cruise around? And I get to go see Mount Rushmore, and I get to go swim with manatees, and I get to go make jokes with the people in the park in the place where I got my scuba diving suit because I'm so fat I can barely fit in it. And, that kind of stuff.
I
Yeah.
love
You
it.
know,
I love it. And I love seeing you pretty much every week when we get together with our friends and do some business networking online. I think that's another part of it is because we're online and we're mobile, we get to experience so many more people and relationships and different philosophies and perspectives and stuff like that. Great. I
and
love it.
you don't want to hibernate inside your trailer because I meet a lot of people that try to hide, and that's
Mm,
scary. That's not a safe, that's not a healthy place to be.
right.
Okay.
For a variety
And
of
there are
reasons.
some wonderful things out there. I have met, there are women's groups that are just for single women that are, you know, um, almost all of them seem to own a Class C and a little mini car. Seems to be like the thing, you know, but they have their own group. And then you have the people that love to travel together as groups to go through Mexico. And then you have the people, you have all these different groups that can interconnect, that you can find people. And then you
Hmm.
can go to conventions and things and chat with people and learn new stuff. And, you know, it's a really great community out there.
Yeah, it is. I love it. Love chatting with you, and I feel like we could talk a whole lot more about all of the things. But we
Yeah. Thank
need
you for your
we
time.
yeah, I want to let you go, and I want to just ask you one last question. Is there any bucket list items still that you haven't marked off yet?
Yeah, yeah, I still haven't got up to like Maine. I was gonna head up that way, and uh I had a problem happen. I blew my knee out and had to go back to California and get a knee replacement
Oh
surgery.
darn.
So I was actually up in South Dakota, and I was getting ready to turn right and go. I was facing north, and I was gonna turn right and head up to Maine, and I literally blew my knee out and had to turn left and go the other way. So um, that's one of the things on my bucket list.
Excellent. Maybe I'll see you there.
All right.
All right. Patrick, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Take care.
Be sure to check the show notes for links mentioned in this episode and join us in the Living the Good Life Facebook community for previews of each episode, the opportunity to pose questions directly to our guests, bonus content, and a community of people committed to living their best life and sharing the journey. Thanks for listening. Let us know what value you received from this episode and what you'd like us to explore in the future in the comments. And please take a moment to drop us a like or some stars. I'm Kimberly Henry. Let's get out there and live the good life.